Hello and welcome to this week's live lunch, although this time it is a live-ish lunch. I am unfortunately out of the business even. And one thing and another, it just got a little bit tricky because there's just so much going on with us at the moment. And basically, to make life easier for Jane and Mark, I said, you know what, I'm just going to do a video, we'll do a pre-record and we'll schedule this to go out live, which is one of the fantastic things that we can do with Streamyard, which is the software we use to do our live streams. And so here I am with a little message for you in place of the Green Umbrella Live Lunch. Like I said, it's a really weird time of year. We've had all these 4-day weeks, and if you've known me for a long time, you know I'm always complaining about 4-day weeks. But it does mean that work really mounts up. And, it's really important that although we have this commitment of doing this live stream every week, there are times where you have to say, okay, I know I've committed to that from a content perspective, but sometimes work takes precedent. And it's really interesting because actually this week, this is the first time I've been in the office this week. On obviously Monday was bank holiday. On Tuesday, I was delivering our first face-to-face corporate full-day intensive social media training for a recruiter up in Wigan. Absolutely fantastic to be back in a classroom environment and doing all the exercises and delivering all of that content. Really, really enjoyed that. But one of the things that popped up within that was the fact that when we're creating content, we've got to make sure it's purposeful. When we're creating content, and actually I talked about this yesterday at a meeting where I was speaking with Team. We did some Q&A. Team's the employment agencies movement. We do a load of stuff with them. But one of the things I was talking about on both of those occasions was the fact that from a strategic perspective, when you're looking at your content, you've really got to make sure that your content is prioritizing the goals of the business, not just the goals of your commitment to LinkedIn. So it'd be really easy for me to say to Mark and to Jane and to, whoever else is joining us from the team, whether it is Nicole or Ellie or whoever, and say to them, look, I know you're busy, but let's push that aside. We've got to do live lunch. Well, today, it's way more important that Mark works on the landing pages he's working on at the minute. It's way more important that Jane focuses on the detail and the Facebook ad campaigns and the LinkedIn ad campaigns she's working on. Ellie, don't know what she's up to, but, I'm joking. She's really busy as well. In fact, Ellie is prepping for her first speaking event that's happening next week. So we might get her on to talk about that in the next couple of weeks, see how that goes. But like I said, right now, there's loads of stuff going on. I need, as the leader in the business, to be able to say this content strategy is really important. We know we're going to get leads out of this. This is how we're going to get leads out of it. But equally also know when to say, okay, right now the needs of the business, this is how we're going to prioritize, this is how we're going to accommodate everything. And like I say, using the right tools. The fact that we use Streamyard has meant that I can record this for you. We're still, something is still going to go live at 12 noon on Thursday for the live lunch. And hopefully within this message, there's something that's just going to make you think about your social media strategy as well. It'd be really, really easy to give ourselves a hard time and say, oh, we've missed that week. I think this is like week 106, 107 since we started this. This is the second occasion where we've had to not have a full hour live. I think that's pretty good going. I don't feel any need to sort of, feel like I failed in this approach to our content or anything like that. So, like I said, it's like if you are committing to things from a content perspective, just be realistic with yourself. There are going to be times where you can't quite make it happen. And as long as you keep up the commitment over a longer period of time, it's going to be okay. The worst thing we could do right now is go, oh God, we missed that week. And then the following week, miss it again, and then get to a point where it's really hard to get restarted. So we will definitely be here next Thursday at 12 noon on my LinkedIn, the Green Umbrella Facebook page, Green Umbrella YouTube channel. And obviously, you know, if you ever wanted to go back to any of the previous recordings, just head over to our YouTube channel. They're all there. If there was something that we talked about once, you're thinking, oh, you know, I need to listen back to that because there was something useful there for me, make sure you go and look at that on YouTube. Now, like I said, since I last spoke to you, it does feel like I've just not been in the office. There's been loads of stuff going on. We've been everywhere. I've hardly seen the team, which is nice for them. But the conversations I've been having there's been loads of conversations around Web3. Okay, so if we think about the like online at the minute, people refer to it as Web 2 these days. And there's this whole Web 3 coming, which is where we're talking about cryptocurrencies and NFTs and that sort of stuff. And I was talking to someone yesterday about like the developments and how do we stay on top of everything. And, you know, when you've got children as well, it's really important when we think about their online presence, like how to stay ahead of the curve so that when little Jimmy's coming home talking about whatever he's doing, whether it is the next social media app or the Discord server that he's using to play Roblox or whatever it is, I've probably stunned people that I've been able to say that much and sound like I know what I'm talking about without Mark being here to prompt me, but there you go. But the way the world is shifting, there is a load of stuff that maybe isn't relevant to business right now in the online space, but is very, very quickly going to become relevant. And with all of these social media channels, we have this aging up thing going on. You know, Facebook started, kids were all over it, parents got involved, so it aged up, marketers were all over it. Instagram, same thing happened. Remember a few years ago thinking Instagram was just for kids? And now it's like everyone's on Instagram. Same thing. TikTok is one of the platforms that's aged up the quickest. And this is just going to keep happening. These new platforms will appear. Some of them don't last 2 minutes. You know, they're big things and everyone's talking about them and 12 months later they've vanished. Clubhouse is probably a good example of that. There are still masses of people using Clubhouse, but it's become very niche. So a lot of coaches and consultants on Clubhouse now, whereas other sort of businesses, business owners, other entrepreneurs have kind of gone back to, let's say, LinkedIn, for example, or they're putting all their effort into Instagram. They've kind of moved away from Clubhouse. So, you know, but that was something that 18 months ago was like the big thing. Everyone wanted in on it. There will be something else tomorrow. There will be something else next year. And actually, we really need to think when this stuff comes along, how can we jump on it? How can we like understand it, leverage it, and ride the wave with it? And if it takes off and it sticks, brilliant. And if it doesn't, go, okay, that's that. We'll leave that there. But like I say, if you've got kids at the minute, when you think, like, if I think back to when my youngest was like 10, 11, 12, I was already working in a social media space, but I was really thinking about, like, how do I use this app? Like, how would I use this app at that age? Like, what are the dangers, all that kind of stuff? Well, actually, thinking about cryptocurrency, thinking about NFTs, so non-fungible tokens, which is essentially buying a digital product. So people describe it as buying digital art because that's sort of where it started. That's been a standard. But buying this stuff online, exchanging it like it's real money, we've got to get our heads around this because it is coming. So even though this is a recording, in true Green Umbrella live lunch style, I feel like I'm going down a little rabbit hole here. So I'm going to pull it back and not bore you too much. But if something like cryptocurrencies, NFTs, that sort of stuff, if you're thinking, I don't know what you're talking about, Christina, drop a note in the comments, because if that's the case, I need to bring someone in as a guest on Live Lunch to help explain this to us all. And if you do know a little bit about it and you've got some thoughts on the future of Web3, I'd love to know what you're thinking there as well. So again, drop a comment. But I'm going to wrap up from this point. Like I said, I'm just going to drop in for 10 minutes or so. It is brilliant that so many face-to-face events are happening and that we find ourselves in this situation where, because we've all been out, like working on projects, being out the office, all of that sort of stuff, getting back, seeing people in groups in real life, has meant that we've had to do this week for Live Lunch. But you know what? May, June, there are so many events happening where we're going to have the opportunity of seeing people face to face, and I'm really, really excited. So what events have you got in the diary face to face that you're looking forward to? You know, the workshops, the conferences, the networking events, all of that sort of stuff. Let me know in the comments. And I'm going to wrap this up here and say thanks for joining. And myself and the team will see you next week, Thursday at 12 for the Green Umbrella Live Lunch. Bye for now.